There we go. I think we started the broadcast.
Perfect.
Well, hello. We are... I'm just pulling up. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's kind of like mid-afternoon for me. I know it's like 3 p.m. my time. It's like 6 p.m. your time.
Okay.
So like I just kind of got in the group. I've actually been working most of the morning on the story that we were working on. I was like, day one, you got to crank it out.
Nice. I have not actually started at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, today was kind of busy with a couple other things. So.
Fair. Yeah, I know like after this live stream, I'm going to be like going and doing a bunch of homework.
Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah.
Alrighty. Do you have the where like the link is for the...
Okay. How do you find that? Wait, do I just give you the YouTube link?
Yeah, just the one that I can share with other people.
Here you go.
Perfect.
Did that work?
Where'd you send it?
You
posted it in the comments. Perfect.
Yes.
Alrighty. Now I'm gonna post this here because I had the old link. What about you? What you been doing?
I have been, so far, right now, I've just been working. And now I need to figure out my nano project. So I haven't actually started, and yeah, that's kind of an issue, but we're gonna deal with it as it comes.
Yeah. Like, you know what? A problem for another day.
Exactly. Did you do anything for Halloween?
I go all out for Halloween. Usually I'm like in a haunted house, doing haunted house stuff. I'm like, you know, I'll do trick-or-treating. I'll have like a crazy costume. And this year, A, COVID, B, just having a lot of other stuff do, and then C, like our house is like super tucked away. So like we didn't even get any trick-or-treaters. I was so sad. I was like, yeah, like this is like the first year I'm gonna be like, you know, actually giving out candy for trick-or-treating. Usually I'm like either when I was a kid I would be like going and trick-or-treating, or like in a lot of my as an adult it would be like, oh hey, I'm, you know, like going to like doing a haunted house. Like I would be like running haunted houses and stuff like that with my family, or that they're like groups. And rip COVID.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I am also going to post this link in to everybody else. Oh, you know what I learned? Hey, okay.
Hey, perfect.
I didn't know that was a thing until now.
Yeah, I know. I've never used StreamYard before, so I was like, I remember I was like looking up their YouTube channel that had all their like, here's how to do StreamYard. And I was like, oh, good, interesting.
Yes. Okay. Now, is there a way that we can put a thumbnail?
I have no idea.
Ooh. Public. Unlisted private. Schedule for later. Huh. I don't know if we can or not.
Alrighty. Oh man, there's hella lag on my end. I'm like watching the thing and like you're moving almost in time. And I think I'm behind a lot.
It's weird. Oh, but we have 3 watchers.
Hi. Oh, hey. Hello, everyone.
Do you want to start sprinting after this then?
Sure, yeah. Let's see, add here.
Hello.
Are you able to see everybody coming in? I can't see everybody coming in.
I can see a couple of people coming in.
Hello, everyone. Oh, I see the chat. Ariel M. Hello.
Hello, hello. It's nice to meet you. What are you working on tonight? Okay. Do you want to get sprinting then?
Sure, yeah.
How long are you good for?
I mean, I'm good for, I usually do either 10 or 20-minute sprints, but.
Okay, we can do a 10-minute sprint. Unfortunately, I don't have any fancy timer.
I know, I just go online like writing sprint.
Exactly.
Is everyone hydrated?
Okay.
I am hydrated. I have water here. I have tea here.
Yes. I have tea somewhere. You know what? I might go get tea, actually. How are you doing? What are you working on tonight? Okay. So I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes, and then I think we can share screen. If you go here. Okay.
Let's see.
Can you see my screen?
I think you have to drag it up. Ooh, Ariel M says, I'm doing a second draft, complete rewrite of my urban fantasy novel. Ooh, I love urban fantasy.
Oh.
One of my like ideas that I have for work in progress that I'm like, I put it to the side so I could work on this one this time is a urban fantasy. Still getting set up to write though. I just got home. Oh, fair, yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
okay, Word just said, I'm just messing around on the internet tonight. Hey, fair enough.
Nice. I love messing around. The internet's so big, but it's like a rabbit hole. I spent like 3 hours the other day on Canva.
Yep. Yeah, I do these on my Instagram. I have daily writing prompts that I decided to do that are just like, I pick like 3 words and it's like, and then I've got like a picture. And so it's like the picture and the 3 words are kind of like the prompt of just like, hey, like write something. And oh my gosh, I just like go on Canva and I have so much fun making those.
Nice.
I'll spend like 3 hours making like a whole month's worth. Like,
yes. Okay. I'm going to share screen now. And I'm going to hopefully. Oh, wait. Application window?
I'm a super rough drafter, so I'm probably not going to share my screen. I'm just going to have my face here.
That's totally fine. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I see 10 minutes right there.
Okay, I'm going to start. And happy sprinting.
Yeah, you too.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Did you see me like talking? But then I realized that the
Oh
mic
no, I didn't.
was muted, so
I was lost in the fog. Was that 10 minutes? Let's see what I got.
oh nice.
Let's see.
Yes, it was.
Where did I start? I
Oh my
started right here. I got 150 done in that time. 151.
oh nice. I
That's
got
fair.
none written because I was having difficulty with
Yeah, that's
this.
fair.
Yeah, I learned that you can put banners on
Yeah.
on StreamYard, which I already knew because other people do it, but for some reason it was
Yeah.
just kind of like no for me.
Like, nah. Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I got a lot done. I was kind of like in the middle of a scene, kind of beforehand. So when we started, so it was kind of like you just like continuing
Okay.
the thought process.
Yeah, yeah.
I've
So
already
do you write
gotten.
chronologically?
I do write chronologically. Yeah, I have tried doing it in the past. Not quite where I'll be like, I'm just gonna write my favorite scenes. And the problem I run into with that is that I'm too much of a discovery writer for that. Like I go
Okay.
in with a plan, but so much changes along the way that I'm like, ooh, when I wrote this scene, they were coming into the scene
Yeah.
with this attitude, and now they're way more angry than I had originally planned, or they're not angry
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Or yeah.
I can relate. Yeah. And what about everyone else? How was your sprint so far? Or what did you do in 10 minutes? Okay. Now that I'm done messing about and my project has opened, I'm excited to get going because I have no idea what I'm going to write. So it's just going to be a nice word vomit.
Yeah, I definitely the way I write, I end up doing a lot of like, I'll come up with the name for that person later. And I've like already run into 3 different people that I'm like, bracket, person on left, bracket.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Oh, hi,
Oh,
Devin.
hello. The
What are you
Scarlet
working on
Tea
tonight? Oh, yes. Hi, Scarlet Tea.
and Ping.
Hi, Ping. Oh, and Ariel's fixing dinner.
Beautiful.
Oh,
What you
nice.
making?
What are you? Yeah, what are you making?
I just made curry before I joined, so I've got like some semi-warm curry.
Oh, nice, nice. Did you hand make, like, is it homemade koi?
Yeah,
That's always the
I
best.
like. There's like one recipe that I can make well, and it's curry.
Okay, okay. Yeah. I just ate. I had tofu. Tofu and beans.
Yeah, I've got it. Mine is just like, I'm such a picky eater. So mine is literally just like the rice, the sauce, and then like a fake chicken tofu thing.
Okay,
But
that's still good, though.
very, very similar. Oh.
Yes. So I forgot, is your NaNoWriMo book 2? Or, I mean, sorry, is it one main character or is it more than one?
Oh man, that was like the biggest struggle that I had of trying to figure out like
Yeah.
whether or not I wanted, because there's 2 very important characters that like could both be POV characters, but I don't want to like spoil it where it's like, oh, I'm thinking about how I'm innocent, and then you're like, oh wow, that was like a whole other plot line that could have been like that person's super evil too. So I was like, huh. So I think right now
Ooh.
I'm sticking with just the main character.
Okay.
And that might change later if I'm like,
Yeah.
these like little bits at the end, because I was thinking of putting little bits like in like a different formatting, basically, of being like, this is someone else's point of view, and it could be the bad guy, it could be like just a random side character, it could be, and I might like say sometimes and not say other times. So sometimes it's like, oh hey, here's this person's thoughts, and here's just like a person's thoughts. So that might evolve into having an entire chapter dedicated to a person's point of view, but
So do you normally write in multiple points of view, or is it?
That's usually how I write. I mean, I've never, this is the first big project I've ever done, that I've ever worked on, that's only like one point of view, and I'm like, but how will I do this? How will I do it? There's so many like weird shorthands that I'm like, wait, how do I describe what the main character looks like if I don't just flip to another point of view and describe it? You know, where it's like, I'm just like used to doing that. I'm like, oh, I'll wait to describe the main character until the next point of view looks at the main character. And then it's like, wait, I can't do that now.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Okay, so for the first the project that I was originally gonna do for Nano, which I ended up accidentally finishing.
Yeah.
I decided halfway through, because it went over a major like character development, like the book itself.
Yeah.
It grew up, and it went through a midlife crisis, and it went through teen years, and it was all messy. And at one point, I started writing from a different point of view, but it was so random that in my editing process, I just had to like delete it because, or I made a separate doc and I said POV specials or something.
Yeah.
Because it came out of nowhere and it wasn't like a particularly important character either.
Right.
I just needed to switch it up.
Yeah, dude, sometimes you're, like, I've read books where, like, I think the only like really popular one that I know that did it was like, I remember back when I read Twilight, back when I was a middle schooler, and like the entire books are in the main like Bella's perspective, and like the last one switches to like Jacob for like a couple chapters, and you're like, that's weird. But it's like some books, they're just like, you know what? We're just gonna throw in a random point of view just for funsies in this weird one scene. And you know what?
Oh my gosh.
Appreciate that kind of thing because if I'm only in one person's head, sometimes I'm like, is this person even telling the truth? I need to know what this other person's thinking because this guy's stupid.
You know what? I think I am totally okay with having multiple point of views, but I don't like when it's just random. I recently read a book that I think it had 3 point of views, but one of them it had 4 point of views, and the fourth one, it was just like, I think he had maybe 2 chapters of like the entire book, and it was just kind of like, why? He wasn't important. He wasn't a secondary character. He was like a fourth character or something.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember. I read a book once that did that, and I cannot remember for the life of me, like even what genre it is. I'm like, I know that this happened, where it was like everything was in like these, like the 3 or 4 people that were like really important to the story. It was in like some of their point of views. And then like the last, like the epilogue was like the random, the teacher or the parent, or like, so like the epilogue was in like some outside point of view, just being like, these kids have been through some shit.
Interesting.
Like, you have no idea what they've been through.
That's vague, but it works.
I can't for the life of me remember like what it was or what it was about. I just remember that like reading the epilogue, it's usually like that was like, oh yeah, like 2 years later, these like, you know, these kids have saved the world and like nobody else knows, but like, so this is what it looks like from the outside.
Interesting. Okay, but if it's in a movie, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Like I love okay, I'm trying to figure out, I guess both our memories are kind of like stalling on us, but there was this movie,
Stream Brain.
Well, yeah, obviously. No, there was this movie that I watched, and it captured the reactions of just random citizens in this heroic world, and it's just like, ooh, people reacting, and I love that so much in a movie.
Yeah, here's the thing, I have no idea what it is, but for me, like whenever I'm reading a book, the reactions of the side characters to me is always like when like if it's like a romance novel and like the main couple gets together and then it ends and I'm like, but what did the best friend think? What did the parent think? I want to see the reactions of everyone else, of you guys getting together, you know? It's always my favorite part. Oh.
Yeah. Ooh, Devin's doing some better reading tonight.
Nice.
That's fancy. Do you have a set goal that you want to get? Like, do you want to finish the entire book tonight? Or if it is a book, I mean, it could be like an essay or something, like published literary essay. And Ariel is just putting on some, oh wait, did that not switch? Okay, here we go. Did that work? Did I change anything? There we go. Okay. And Ariel is heating up some soup. Nothing special. I mean, soup's really special because I like soup. Chicken noodle soup is the best.
It's fall, and that's soup season. That's soup season right there.
Exactly. Yes. Curl up on the couch with a nice book, drink your soup, or eat your soup.
Eat your soup, drink your tea.
But yeah. Exactly. My favorite holiday drink is hot chocolate, though.
Ooh. Yeah. Hot chocolate and apple cider are better than tea and coffee any day.
Yes. Do you like warm apple cider?
Yeah. Do people drink cold apple cider? I actually haven't. Like, is that just apple juice?
I've had I've had cold apple cider before, but I guess it's just juice when you put it that way. Apple cider.
Well, actually, no. There's like the spices and stuff in it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Put it in a mug.
Yes,
Oh.
exactly. Do you want to do another sprint?
Sure, yeah.
Do you want to try 20 this time?
Absolutely, sure.
Okay. Oops, that is 20 seconds. Okay. I'm going to
You have 20 seconds, go!
And here we go. Okay. There we go. 20 minutes starts now. Have fun streaming. And I'm going to try this banner thing. Ooh.
Hello, Yaza H. What are you working on?
Hello.
Are we done? Cool,
Yes,
cool.
we are.
Let's see.
Yes, and before I saw Yazza come in. Oh my gosh, so sorry. How are you doing tonight? How did everyone do?
I'm looking right now.
How
Let's
did you
see.
do?
Where did I end up? I gotta start leaving like a little mark where I leave up. I think I ended right at here. That was 212.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Was
no, it's
this
still the
a
same
new
scene.
scene?
It's kind of the
Or-
there's like the vague little
Okay,
kind of spacey prologue kind of scene where he's just because my book is about this guy who he was like the seventh in line and then he ends up becoming the king, and so like the first scene is like the coronation where he's kind of just like it's been a couple months but he's still like vaguely traumatized about like becoming king, so there's just like a lot of like introspection, and then the scene that I'm writing right now is kind of like the coronation feast where he's with all of the like relatives that are going to be important players later. Just kind of setting up like, wow, this person's a jerk and this person's really quiet and this person's really nice. Oh, they're the best. I feel
love
like
family dynamics.
you can never go wrong with family dynamics because nobody's ever like, ugh, that's unrealistic, because like everybody's family is different.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Have you seen like I used to go to this installation art thing that was interactive, and yeah, and the best part of this interactive art installation was the family dynamic art piece. And so you go, it's like fancy posh dinner setup, and then it's just yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Idiom here and also, ooh, all the way from Australia. Hello.
Yeah. Oh. Good morning.
Yeah.
It's like
I know we end at like
here.
9 p.m. your time. Oh.
Yeah. So in that stream, I ended up like, if you saw me making weird faces at the screen, it was because I was writing, and it just, you read it and you realize how cringe it is.
Every time.
My main character's last name is Hawk Feather. Yeah. And my first sentence is like, her father's story was her father's story, who is her grandfather's story, and it's just a repetitive, same word thing. Yeah.
Repetition can be very, very useful in kind of like setting the what have you, the scene.
That's true. Yeah.
We actually, I'm currently going to college for writing, English and writing, and repetition is like one of the, it's like the main tenets that we talk about. It's like, well, there's
cool.
like, you know, alliteration, there's this one, that, there's repetition, and like, you know, the repetition of certain words or certain sentences can really like drive a point home or something. So it's very fun.
Interesting. So yeah, I'm also going to uni for English, but we're focusing more on like poetry right now, and it's just kind of cool. Like I get a lot of inspiration from history, which I kind of dig. But yeah.
We started with poetry too. She was like, we're gonna start with poetry because they're shorter, and then we're gonna go to a novel.
Okay. Oh, cool. So like you go through the entire spectrum of like English stuff.
Yeah, because she's like, because it was the class that I'm taking, that I'm referencing is it's a intro to literature, or intro to literary analysis, some kind of like thing like that, where it's like you're looking and you have to like go deep. You're like, why did they choose this word, not this word, not this word, this word? And like as a writer, you're like, I don't know, because it sounded fun. You're like, I don't know, you know, sometimes you just like, you're like, find out that word later.
Do you find it is it hard for you to create names for your characters and stuff?
Oh, it's the hardest thing I find is like creating. I have so many names that are just like brackets. It's like cousin one, cousin two. This one right here, this story here is the one that I went through and named characters the most. Because I have that.
Sorry, continue. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, did you use the name generator for that?
For some of them, yeah. So I like to use the name generator to like give me an idea. So I'd be like, ooh, a J next to a K. That seems a little weird, but but the rest of the sentence, the rest of the name sounds pretty cool. But I'm gonna remove that J next to a K because it doesn't really mesh well in my what have you. Yeah. But so I'll use it as kind of like an inspiration, or I'll see like two, and I'll be like, ooh, actually, if I mix these two together, something like that. But yeah, for this.
I hate when you see a name that you can't pronounce in a book. That character just becomes the first letter of the character's name.
You're K-Man now. You're K-Man, and you'll always be K-Man. Choosing names / world building is the funnest. Ooh, world building. I love world building so much. I mean, there's so many. This is the first time I've written something to publish, because for a lot of my kind of stories that I want to eventually publish versus the stories that are just for me are stuck in the eternal world building cycle where I'm like, but what about this and what about that? Just eventually I'm gonna have to write this thing, but I'm just having so much fun world building.
I know. I just want to put everything I do for world building into my novel, but then I realize sometimes it's fun not to do
that. Yeah. So people are like, oh, good. I know how you make your candles and how you I know what every single one of your trade routes is.
Exactly.
Super fun. Thanks, author. And you're like, but it's great because see, this trade route started over here, and then the reason that it stopped being here was because there was a battle, and then that battle meant that they couldn't use that trade route anymore, so then they had to start using this trade route. You're just nobody cares.
Just thanks. Yeah.
Nobody cares but me.
Yeah. No, I am a really big when it comes to world building, most of the time I just make it up as I go. And so in this world, okay, what do you define a portal, a portal world novel or a portal? There was a name for it that someone on a different live stream told me.
Portal fantasy, I think, is when, for example, the Chronicles of Narnia, they start in the real world and then they go through a portal into a fantasy world, and then they portal back. So instead of whereas Harry Potter is something where it's well, the magical world and the real world are in the same world, but really this is a secret world and this is something like that. So it's but this one is no, this is the real world, but there's a portal to a fantasy world that you can go to, and then you come back to the real world.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think my story is becoming a portal fantasy then.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how it's going because I had to. It's cringy. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All first drafts are cringy. That's the point.
Yeah. And then I tried to figure out how you get to this portal, because I don't know, just the whole idea of sticking in a key into midair and then turning and then poof, everything is magical.
Yeah.
That just, I find that so funny. And I'm not sure if I wanted to do that. So now I'm trying to explain. I'm explaining how the portal gets created, and I'm sitting there going do people really care about this?
See, that's the kind of thing that I always have. There'll be one character that's really knowledgeable about a subject. So it's that person's a magical, scientist or whatever. And they're well, actually, you see, blah, blah, blah. And the main character's shush, no one cares. Or they're so you're actually able to explain it to the audience without it being hello, I'm explaining it to the audience, because the main character is nobody can, or it's zoning in and out because they're oh, this crazy magic stuff. Well, it was it's actually really exciting because you see here and here and here, and they're I don't magic gobbledygook. And so you can have that where it's the main character is shush, nobody cares, but it's your way of telling the audience by the way, if you care, it's this.
Yes. Oh, did I actually end up mentioning how many words that I got this?
Oh, I don't think you did.
Okay, I got 150 just because I was going back and forth deciding things. Yeah. And I think I'm going to have to check out those name generators because I don't know how I'm going to name my characters unless I just kind of pull it out of my head.
Yeah. Usually I'm one of those people that my entire browser history is are you having a baby? Why are you on so many baby websites? Why are you on so many name websites? And I'm no, you see, I'm naming my characters, not my children. Yeah, I use a lot of those for like a lot of my kind of like contemporary fantasy or any of the like, you know, just any kind of real world books that I write. But for this one, I kind of wanted them to all have like a fantasy name. So I can just be like, this is Jennifer. And it's like, what? What?
Yes, yes. I need fantasy characters to have fantasy names.
Yeah. Or at least at the very, very least, like I have one character right now. It's like, I think real people in the real world have the name. This is like the most recent one I've named, but her name is Aurelia. And like, I think that's like a real name, but it's like just unique enough of a real name that it's like, yeah, it's basically fantasy.
I like that name.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a fun character to write. I'll tell you that. She's one of my main character's aunts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Actually, his only aunt. I think I ended up deleting the other aunt.
Bye.
Bye. But yeah, there's so many people that's one of the reasons why I ended up having to go through and naming all of these guys beforehand, because normally I just kind of like, I'll be like, sister, you know, sister of main character, until like the name kind of comes to me and I'm like, ooh, actually, I think this person's name should be, you know, Jessica, and like that fits. Okay, and then I'll like Control H, you know, sister of main character, and then like, you know, replace it. But with this one, because the family tree is so weird, it's like, oh, cousin 1, cousin 2, cousin 3, cousin 4, and I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to keep all these straight.
Yeah. Oh. But that's kind of cool, because like right now I'm just kind of making up names as I go. Like I had an angel named George.
I love it.
In one of my stories. Yeah, and I loved it, right? But then at the same time, I don't think George is even like a Christian name. So I had to like go search up good angel names.
Yeah, I heard so a lot of the names, I think in the Bible, or in like at least in the like pantheon that came after the Bible, because after the Bible came out, a lot of like saints or like friars and popes and stuff like that like wrote a bunch of like, actually here's like a list of angels. So I don't know if this is actually from the angel or from the it says, aunt, you no longer exist, Thanos snap. Basically.
Yes.
Oh, but yeah, the what was I saying?
Wait, what
were we talking about? Let's go back. Go back to the stream.
The Thanos snapped my memory.
It snapped my memory away. I actually can't remember. The names, angel names. But apparently a lot of the angel names end in EL. So you have like Ezekiel and Gabriel and a lot of stuff like that. So if you want like a good angel name, if it ends in an L, it might sound a little like EL. Oh, apparently a lot of them. It was like, you know, Ezekiel and Gabriel and lots of like Michael. Yeah, EL at the end of every name.
See, that would work, except for, okay, you know how they say never name your main characters similar names?
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to be really like rebellious, and I named my 2 main characters the twins, or 2 sub-main characters, the twins. So I named them the exact same name.
Oh, nice.
Variations. So I'm just relying on nicknames, and I love it. Like it's just kind of funny.
I think. Oh, what was the show that did that with the 2? Oh, have you ever seen Gravity Falls?
I have seen a little bit of it.
The kind of like old man, the great uncle of the main characters. His name is, I can't remember which one's which, but one of them is Stan Lee and one of them is Stanford, like Stanford and Stanley, okay. And so they call each other Lee and Ford. Yeah.
Okay. I find sometimes I find like writing secondary characters more fun than writing your main character.
Yes, it's like the worst thing ever, because you're like, gosh damn it, do stuff, do fun stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, that's one of the problems I'm running into right now with mine. I'm like, should I make this person a point of view character? There's so much like they're at risk of being so much more interesting than me.
So I have a question. So do your characters start off all in like the same world, following the same plot of the main character, or do they come together at the end or something?
Yeah,
like that? Like,
usually the way I write, I'll kind of I'll have like, you know, parts that are like this, and sometimes like this one will branch off and this one will branch. So people from this group and this group meet each other, but these people haven't. But then they all converge.
That
That's
it's so
usually how I like to do it. It's
complicated.
usually how I like to do it. But in this one, because I was like trying to be like, okay, how can I like adopt like the murder mystery tropes into the dark fantasy tropes? And one of the things that I was looking at is like, if we don't have enough time with these people who we're like suspecting of maybe being the people who committed the murder, then we're not going to be able to be like, this person, like, here's a hint here, here's a clue here, red herring here. So I'm like, you have to keep them all there in the house for a month. So one of the things that I kind of was like struggling with is like, do some people leave and then some people come back? Why would they stay? Why would they stay for that long? And then I realized one of the things that I was looking at was when I was creating the continent of like this is where this kingdom is and this is where this kingdom is. I put the main character's place like really high up north, and I was like, wait a second, if they have like really harsh winters and his coronation happens in the winter, it might be like a thing of you're like, oh, if you go up to this place in the winter, you just plan to stay a month because that pass is gonna close off. And so that's one of the things that I have is like the like mountain pass to like get to this place, kind of like oh wait, there's kind of like one way to get into this, like, and one of the things that I have is like I was looking up a lot of kind of, I mean, I've lived in like really, really cold places, but not like, like arctically cold. And so I was kind of like, okay, like how would this change and how would that change? And one of the things is like, I mean, most medieval fortresses were built atop like mountains or spires, because like when you're like looking down, it's like, aha, get a catapult up here, we're gonna shoot down at you guys. It's gonna be way easier for us. So a lot of like citadels and castles and things like that were built on hills. So like, okay, so they're in the mountain ranges and they're in like a really wintry area. I'm like, this right? So okay, cool. I can keep people here for a long period of time. So for this one, I do have one small divergence. I think I'm gonna have some people end up going off and then coming back together in the end. But the main kind of most of the people are going to be kind of there the whole time. They're just like staying in other rooms of the castle, like, oh hey, like this lord and noble here who like made the journey to like come watch me do my coronation. Especially because one of the things that I have is one of the things that came of his whole family like burning in a fire was he ended up having to like the way that I had their kind of like alliance system is basically they were like, if you're like engaged to somebody, like if you're like betrothed, that basically works for our alliance purposes, because like for here, it is kind of, it's tied into their religion and it's tied into this and it's tied into that. So they're like, we're pretty sure you're not going to like break this off just like willy nilly. So we have like a peace accord. And so he was never like expected to like actually make do on a lot of his promises. He was never expected to actually marry his fiance. He was never expected to have to do this. So now he's king, and like the whole council's like, so you have to have a queen now. And he's like, but I don't know her and I don't love her. And like, so there's like that whole aspect. And he's like, and so so like there's lots of I forgot where I was going with this. Completely forgot where I was going with this. But so soon after his coronation, he basically has to have his wedding. And so I kind of basically have the entire book take place kind of between the coronation and like the wedding. Like that's people like came, they were like, we're gonna stay for a month anyway because like the weather's so weird. And so some people are like, we'll just like leave after the wedding. That's when we'll plan to leave. Yeah.
So it's kind of almost like a conversation. Like it feels like a conversation in the sense that like the audience has to, well, not the audience, I guess the readers would have to piece everything together.
Yeah, it's like you have a time limit. It's like here to here. That's when everybody leaves. Everybody leaves after the wedding, so you got to figure it out before then.
Yeah. Interesting.
I actually saw this one. It was a kind of like it was an advertisement for a masterclass. I did not actually have enough money to take a masterclass, but
Same.
I was like, look at the ad. Like, I'm gonna watch the whole minute-long ad. Get as much as I can out of it.
That's all I need.
It was one of the guys that was teaching like how to write thrillers and how to write stuff like that. And one of the things he talked about was it was the contract, the crucible, and the clock. And so basically, like those are like the three tenets of things. So it's like contract is like, hey, this is about figuring out who killed this guy's whole family. No, and then like if halfway through the book you're like, anyway, now we're gonna stop the evil king from destroying the, and you're like, wait, no. We were told this was a mystery. We were told this was what we were going to find out. So it's either supposed to get like way bigger than we ever expected, or it's supposed to get like just solve the mystery. Like it's not like, oh wait, why is I didn't expect you to like go, take over an airplane and like what's going on here? Like
wait a second. There's airplanes in your novel?
Not in my world. I was just like saying like, yeah, like if it's like, oh, we're gonna like solve one mystery, and who killed this guy that was like maybe it was like someone's father. The detective is trying to find out who killed his father, and then all of a sudden he's like doing like what's that guy from Die Hard? John McClane. All of a sudden he's like John McClane. You're like, wait, this is not the book that I signed on for. That's kind of like the contract is just saying this is the problem. This is what we're gonna solve. The other one was the Crucible. So give them like a struggle to overcome, other than just the like figuring out the mystery. So whether like the killer is gonna try to come kill them, or they have to like make their way out of like the killer set off a bomb and now they have to like get out of that. Something like that. That was the Crucible, and the clock was just like have a set time limit. At some point, introduce the time limit of like, oh, this is when I'm no longer going to be able to like if we don't get this done before X time, then we're screwed. And so that was kind of like that's for me. That's like the wedding. like everybody goes home after the wedding.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
But
I don't know. I've read books that take place in a set time period, but I always worry that if I have a set time period, I'm going to like elongate the narrative, the inner narrative, past the point when it's like interesting.
Okay.
Like time to describe the walls and count the popcorn ceilings,
right,
and stuff like that. So
luckily I'm writing in present tense, so I feel like present tense you're able to kind of describe what you need as you need it, whereas I feel like when people are talking in past tense, I'm like, wait, what, where are we, what are we doing? Whereas like present tense, it's kind of like you're so in the moment that it doesn't like necessarily hurt to kind of just keep going. Be like, doesn't matter where we are, we're running.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So 2 things. One, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no,
I
you're
feel
totally
like we
fine.
should sprint again.
Oh yeah.
And 2, I just realized that you can change the color. Like
really?
right now we're just gray. Yeah. What color do you want to be?
I want to be, let's see, is there either pink or green? Those are my...
Okay. Let's do green.
Ooh, that's a lime green. Is there a dark green? Ooh, that's better.
Yeah? Okay. Sweet. Would you like to sprint then?
Yes.
Okay, how long? 20, 25?
Yeah, it's 25. We did 10, 20, 25.
Okay, got it.
We started with 10, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wait, I started it without sharing the thing. So let me share.
Nobody knows when we're stopping.
Exactly. We sprint forever now.
We just never stop. It's actually a marathon.
Exactly. I mean, we have a set goal, NaNoWriMo, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think
cool.
actually, hold on, let me see. Yeah, I've actually completed the like normal word count for NaNoWriMo. I'm just like trying to go for higher of the day one, not of the entire day.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yes, Ariel says let's get ready for sprinting. So let's go.
Sprint.
Okay. How is that for everybody?
Yeah, what did we all get? What'd you get?
I got 288.
Ooh, nice, nice, nice. Let's see. Where did I start? He started when he looked over at her. 278.
Nice, nice. We were so similar.
Oh, hello. Ooh. Stretch. Oh my gosh, it got so dark here. And I didn't even...
Oh, yeah. Were you
Wow.
using window light then?
Yeah, I was pretty much. I have like my desk lamp and like both my monitors. Here,
Okay.
let me go turn my light on real quick and I'll be right back.
Sweet. Yeah. How did everyone do that sprint? Okay. I ended up writing. I wrote like the period when my two characters meet for the first time, like my main character and the love interest. And now I'm trying to make it all cutesy. I love meet cutes. They're one of my favorite ways to start like a relationship.
I'm attached to so many wires.
Oh wow. And then there was light.
I know, right? Yeah. You actually see my background here. Oh.
Yeah. Do you have two mics then, or?
I have my headphones and my little microphone here.
Ah, okay.
There we go. Perfect. We're back.
Wow. So professional.
I know, right? It's more that my stuff's all broken, so I have to use like mic from this and hit audio from this.
It's okay. I wish I could do the same. I have no mic, so I just use like my phone.
Yeah. I have a like a headset that I use for playing Xbox that it's so great, it's so comfortable, it's awesome, but there's like this hiss in the microphone, so I'm like
Okay.
it's
I love how you still do this. Like when I
yeah,
talk
it's
to
one of those.
kids.
It has like a headset that comes down like this. That, like,
Yeah. No, because when I talk to like kids now, when you say like, you know how this is like the phone. Yeah. People do like they go like that. Yeah. Or like same with like a mic, right? Because some mics, like all the new, like that one just straps onto your
yeah,
shirt,
it's like a
right?
little lavalier. Mm-hmm.
So like it's no longer like mic'd like this. It's like you're just talking into just a random thing in front of
Yeah,
you.
like
No. Yes. Okay. And so the Scarlet Tea was talking. So while you were gone, I don't know if you heard my ramble, but
Oh
I
yeah, no,
was writing when my two characters, when my two characters meet for the first time, and it's kind of like a meet cute, and it's so sweet. So, yeah.
Adorable.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, and
208 news
Ariel.
interruptions.
Yeah. That's so good. And oh my gosh, you have a dog. Oh.
My
I mean, it's
landlord
not
doesn't
good.
let us have pets.
That's so sad. Not even a fish.
I'm pretty sure we could swing a fish, but like, they're not fuzzy.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so you know how dogs have to be taken out for walks? So I saw so in some countries, because of COVID, they had to like shut down all like going outside, except if you want to walk your dog, because dogs have to be outside. But then there was this one tweet that showed like this man, he got fined because he was walking his fish because his fish needed fresh air. But yeah, it's so cute. What type of
I
dog
love
do you
that.
have? Yes, and Archita says hi, hello. How was your night?
Hello. I also love your profile picture. That's so beautiful.
Oh yeah, I love the colors. Yeah. Okay, and I also realized, do you write a lot of dialogue? Like I had this time around, I wrote barely any dialogue, and then I feel like I always feel like I underwrite chapters, and then I'll go back and I'll add more dialogue. Like dialogue is my go-to for adding length, and it just
That's so
suddenly
weird.
my chapter expands.
I do the exact opposite. I'll be like, character,
No.
character, 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 character. Then I'll be like, wait, where are they? Hold on, let me add some scene description. Let me add in
Okay.
some like a lot of what I end up adding in later when I come back is a mini schnauzer. A lot of what I end up adding is like introspection. Like this character will say something and this character has to like react to it. Like if it's like astonishing or if they're like, looking at their body language or they're doing some body language or something like that. That's like kind of like, I think this was in my head that this person said this like aghast, but it doesn't really necessarily come across because in my head I wrote it like this and I'm like, well, actually, maybe they should actually show that they're aghast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I usually end up writing most of my dialogue the first time around. I feel like I do an even mix of like dialogue, scene description, and introspection by the end of it.
Okay.
But yeah, I usually kind of underwrite my descriptions. This one I am not though. This one I'm writing so much introspection in the first one. There was like 3 lines of dialogue, and I was like, oh no, am I making this boring? Is it too much? Is there not enough dialogue?
Yeah. I know what you mean. So this summer, because of everything that happened, I went on a writing sprint, which was basically a marathon, but it was low-key a sprint. And so basically I ended up writing like 3 or 4 like stories that were just for fun. No intention of publishing them or anything.
Yeah.
But then I wrote this one story that I do intend to publish, and it was like 33,000 words, and I was done it, and I was like, that's great, except for I think the average story is about 50,000, right?
50,000 I think is like the minimum word count required for it to be a novel. But like anything shorter than that, it's usually kind of like a novella. But it's still, still a story.
So this was supposed to be a high fantasy story, which aren't normally novellas. So I'm going through trying to figure out why, and then I realized that my character says maybe like 5 words in the first 5 chapters.
Oop.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the first line of dialogue I have in my entire thing, let me see, is probably it's actually the first one I have in the I actually start out with like kind of like a thought and then dialogue, but it's just her kind of like guiding basically the person in charge of the ceremony, guiding him through the coronation. But like the first like dialogue that I have that's not just like a ceremony taking place is like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 paragraphs down from the start of chapter 1.
I love that.
Oh, I'm just like, oh wait, hold on, somebody needs to talk here, and then I just have like it cutting into like the guy on his left like rambling on about some stuff, and he's like, Nice. It's not even like real dialogue.
Okay, and then Archita says, haha, thanks, good, how are you guys? So how are you?
I'm doing great. This is definitely the biggest pizzazz I've had for a nano. Usually I just kind of like sit alone in my hovel and don't tell anyone that I'm starting nano and don't do anything about nano.
Is this your second or third time?
I've done nano I think 3 times. One was a camp though, so I don't know if that counts.
Okay.
But
it still counts. It's still a month.
Yeah, and that's like officially like in like plugging in. That I used to like everybody else would be doing nano, and I'd be like, I'm gonna write a bunch too, but I wouldn't like keep like I didn't have an account and I didn't like post it. I didn't like check it. It was just like I'm just gonna write a lot when other people are writing. So it was like I've done nano as a concept a lot.
Okay,
but I only did it like 3 other times officially. And of those official ones, I ended up winning one. Almost winning another, and then the other one I like started it, and then like I went home for November, and then I was like, I was traveling, and then I was home, and then I was this and Thanksgiving, and I was like, oh, I got nothing done. I got 1,000 words, and I was like, okay, this one's a fail.
Hey, but that's still pretty good. I think I've done nano. Actually, I can't even say I've done nano. The furthest I went in nano before this year was I made an account. I made an account, and I think nano went through a whole like reorganization of the website, because I remember going on the website and going, what the heck is this?
Yeah, they did. They also they used to have Camp NaNoWriMo and NaNoWriMo were like two different websites, and now they're like, just do the camps on our website.
And I got so confused because I had no friends. I wasn't a part of AuthorTube or like the Instagram AuthorTube area at all. So I didn't know any other authors, and I was sitting there going, so do you just type in whatever? Like, is there like what's going to stop you from, like, I don't know, making up a new project all the time? Do you have to do 50,000 words? How do you even declare a project?
Yeah, I don't think you have to do 50,000 words. I think I can't remember if it's their like young nano project or if it's just any nano, but like I think you can change your word count to be whatever you want.
Interesting. Okay, because everyone's been saying like the whole 50 thing. Yeah.
Usually it's 50,000 words because that's like the like minimum number required for technically being which really, if you call it a novel, it's a novel. Like there's so one of the things that we're learning in. Oh my gosh, Ariel M has won 3 of 6 nanos. That's so cool.
My gosh, that is great.
Awesome. But yeah, the as you can tell, I have like an attention disorder. I'm constantly like, whoa.
It's totally fine. I am the exact same.
I swear, I'm like one of those dogs. It's just like squirrel. But yeah, no, I definitely think that like 50,000 was kind of like you were like, hey, wait, we can write like, what is it, like 1,666. Like we can write this. If we can just write this once, like this is like a perfectly fine day-long word count. If you can do it every day for a month, you basically have enough. And so that was like the original one was 50,000 words. And that's what most people do is 50,000 words.
Okay.
But it's more of a like some people are like, you know what? I ain't trying to stress out. I'm gonna do half that. I'm gonna do half of the thing, and then that'll be good for me. And that's because it's like it's supposed to be a party, you're not supposed to stress yourself out too much.
Okay. So I think I'm behind. So let me just go back first. First, I'm gonna say, because I have a lot to say now.
Yeah, go ahead.
So first, I want to say, Archita, thank you. I'm doing great. I'm kind of tired, but you know what? This live stream has been hyping me up so much. And Ariel, your dog sounds so cute. Like, oh, I love animals. And so when you won nano each time, was it those 50,000 words, or how did you was it the traditional nano, or was it like nano rebel, or like, I don't know, what were your parameters on that? I think this year I'm going to do the 50,000, but also kind of like stressed in the sense that I've like because I just finished a project. Okay, like I just finished Project Redemption, which was supposed to be my nano project. I was planning on being a rebel this year to finish that, and then I got really excited, so I accidentally finished and wrote over 50K before nano began in the span of a month. And so now I'm sitting here like, oh no, what am I gonna do? I really want to do nano, so I'm just like typing it up as I go. And the Scarlet T says, I know sometimes depending on the genre you have different word counts. Look at what is Game of Thrones? How long is that?
Super long.
Let me search it up.
Yeah, like romance novels are like 50,000 for a romance novel is usually like pretty good, whereas like for a high fantasy novel, that would be like a novella. They're like, what? A high fantasy novel that's 50,000 words? Ludicrous.
Yeah,
I know for mine, I'm doing it's kind of like the dark fantasy, high fantasy. It's like it's not high fantasy in that there's like magic, but it's high fantasy in that it's like it's not here. It's a different world. This world doesn't exist. Kind of one of those.
Okay.
And yeah, it's definitely like I'm writing 50,000 words for nano. It's not gonna be 50,000 words long. It's gonna be longer.
Yeah. Okay, so Game of Thrones. Oh my gosh. So the first Game of Thrones is 292,727 words.
What?
And the third book is 414,604 words.
Yeah. High fantasy novels are a pack a punch. You ever read a Brandon Sanderson novel? You're like, oh my god,
No, I
I could
haven't.
eat this for a week.
What does he write? I've never actually
He
picked
writes
up
a lot
any
of
of
high
his books.
fantasy. Yeah, he
Okay,
writes a lot
like
of high fantasy.
any famous titles? I mean, I'm assuming he's famous,
There's
right?
Mistborn. Yeah, he's one of those ones where like if you go to the fantasy section and you don't see Brandon Sanderson, you're like, is this a real bookstore?
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
I think I've like hidden myself in the YA fantasy land,
Yeah, he does
romance
a lot of.
fantasy.
He
So
does mostly adult, but I think he has some that it's like, well, the protagonist is a teenager, so it technically is YA.
yeah,
It's a lot of those where it's like lots of high fantasy, like dark themes, where it's like just not like
ooh,
dark, but more like it's just if you are like used to reading like the like normal YA, you might be like, oh, this is kind of heavy and dense. It's like a 400,000,
interesting.
400,000 word long book. It's not usually marketed towards YA, but like a lot of some of
Yeah,
his protagonists would technically fit the YA protagonist typical age range. Yeah, let's see. He's got Wave Kings, Oathbringer, Elantris, Warbreaker, Mistborn. Mistborn's the one that I've been hearing about a lot lately. I think this is his most recent
okay.
one. Oh no, that's 2006. It must be his most famous one then. Let's see.
Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, he's got a bunch of things on YouTube of like him recordings of him guest lecturing at a college, and super helpful. I would definitely recommend if you can just Brandon Sanderson, how to write a novel. He has like a lot of really great things. Just especially like just looking at like look at your
Oh,
characters first and foremost.
wait. Okay, so I've recently been watching like some other AuthorTube videos, and they've
Mhm.
talked about how they've been watching lectures by a guy named Sanders. And to be honest, I
Yeah.
thought they were talking about Bernie Sanders, like
Bernie
politics.
Sanders. Bernie Sanders, how to write a novel. First of all.
Yeah, like I've never actually said, but this makes so much
Mhm.
sense. Thank you for clearing that up.
Yep. Yeah, it's one of those ones where you're like, I remember when I first got on AuthorTube because I definitely found AuthorTube the same way a lot of people find AuthorTube, where you're like, you find like one thing, you're like, how to write setting or how to write, good characterization or how to write dialogue. You type in like one of those kind of things and it pops up with like, hey, would you like to know a bunch of other stuff too? And you're like, oh my God, there's authors on YouTube. Yes. And he was the first one that I think that I found that was like, hello, I am a like traditionally published author with like a backlog, like a back catalog of like, over 20 books. I think he's definitely written more than 20 books, but like most of the other AuthorTubers I've seen is like, hi, I either haven't published a book yet and I'm just like talking about like the process of writing, or it's like, wow, I just released my first book. Like here's in like a lot of like, especially like I'm looking into self-publishing. A lot of like the AuthorTubers are looking into self-publishing. But he was like, listen, I was like traditionally published, and it was like a long time. He has like many years of backlog, and so that was definitely something that like. Yeah, just having someone with a lot of experience, because there's a lot of AuthorTubers that have great advice that I like watch. They're like, hi, I've never published a book before. And you're like, fair. You give good advice though,
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it's nice to hear that kind of stuff like as well from someone you're like, oh, okay, this guy's proved it. So it's
when you can't afford a master class.
Yes. Yes. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, sassy dogs are so good. My cat likes she's adorable but she needs attention. She's adorable, but like today I got up to go do something from my desk, and I come back and she's spread out across my keyboard. And it's like, how am I supposed to look? Story. Yeah. It's like
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah, NaNoWriMo is definitely a lot of fun. It's a lot of pressure. Like I feel like a lot of authors, it goes from oh, I'm so hyped to do NaNoWriMo, and then it goes to, oh, but now I'm so stressed, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, and then like, yay, we finished NaNoWriMo, hip hip hurrah.
Yep. Yeah, there's the 20 day mark, 25 day mark where people are like, oh, cool, I'm gonna have to not eat and not sleep and not do my final exams, and it's like, oh, no, maybe do those
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I definitely, that's one of the reasons why I'm starting so front heavy. I don't necessarily know if I'm gonna be able to write 500,000 words or 5,000 words in the first. Right now I'm at 2,044. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get 5,000 by the end of the day, but that's kind of like where I'm headed, is trying to like get a lot done in the first like half of the month, because
Okay.
I just know that by the end of it I'm going to be like, oh no, I had to take a day off because of this, and now I'm behind, and now I'm this. It's just how I've done it before, where it's like, no, I lost my streak, and now I'm like, now I have to do double the next day, and so it's just kind of like, eh. So
Yeah. I think the way I write, I think I'm like a sprint writer. So like I'm really inspired to write, and then I write and I write and I write and I pull out all these words, and then I'm just done. So
yeah.
I'm kind of counting on that for this nano. Like there will be a point when I'll just be like, okay, it's like 7 p.m. at night. I want to finish this book in a week because that's when November ends, so I gotta get writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But this is so helpful because obviously before you go off on it, you need to have an idea. So yeah.
Yeah. I definitely, this is the one of the times that I've done nano, I did like a nano rebel situation where I had already started it. And that was one of those ones where it's like, I have 50,000 words left of this, so it's not going to be a problem. But yeah, I can definitely see when if you're like, oh, it's the day before nano and I finished my what now? Oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that to me is just like so much stress, because now you're like, what do I write?
Exactly. And so this idea, I like you'll see it in the vlog that I'm posting next Friday, but basically I rolled a dice.
Nice.
So, yeah. Speaking of writing, because it is now 8 and
Yes,
I
yes,
think we got
yes.
off like at 7 something, shall we sprint now?
Sprint,
How
sprint,
long should
sprint.
we sprint for?
Let's see. Let's maybe do a 15-minute one. We'll go back to like a shorter
Sure.
one,
Okay.
just to keep it fresh.
Okay. I'm gonna share the screen. Ba-doop-ba-doops. Ba-doop-ba-doops. Ba-doops. 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 Sorry. I tend to sing.
I did the exact same thing. I'm just
Okay.
putting my stream over on my left monitor so I can have my work on my front one.
Have fun
Alrighty.
sprinting, everybody.
Yeah, and this time I'm gonna actually leave a marker for where I left off, so they don't have to guess.
Good idea.
Hello.
I am back. Hello. How did everyone do that rap?
Yeah, what everybody get? Let me see what I got. I left myself a little pound sign so that I would know.
I totally forgot. So I have to go check.
Oh. Let's see. It sucks too because I was like right in the middle of a paragraph, so it's like this is a weirdly placed pound sign. I got 137. Okay. I had to delete so much of what I like wrote something and then I was like, this is terrible. Nice. I was like trying to go over descriptions. It's so funny because I love that you were like, yeah, I have like this little meet cute between my characters. Mine is like the most uncomfortable scene ever. They're like sitting there like, hello, we're strangers. And we're like, you know, we don't know each other. And like her parents are there like trying to talk her up to him and like, oh yeah, she's great. And then she's like, cool, please don't talk to me. Don't talk about me around me. Ooh, 288 Ariel M. Awesome. That's a good one for 15 minutes. That's
nice. That's a lot actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got around 328, but I'm not going to count. I'm not going to count all of that because a lot of it was my character questioning herself. So
that counts. As long as you're going to leave it in, it counts.
Yeah, but the written as questions, so I might not include them just because it's a lot.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I was like writing the descriptions. I was like writing it and then deleting it and then writing it and then deleting it and then writing it. I was like caught up in this and I was like, wait, I'm supposed to be sprinting.
Nice. No, my last word that I wrote before time was up is the letter F. Like I didn't even get to finish my thought. I was gonna write family, but yeah.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of being like, let me just finish the sentence and then like the timer, because if I use one of those ones where it's like the 10 minute, 2 minute, 10 minute, 2 minute, 10 minute, that just like goes automatically. I'll be like, hold on, let me just finish this thought, and then the 2 minutes have passed. And it's like time to start writing. And I'm like, I never stop writing.
Nice. Yeah. When you're in the zone, you're in the zone.
Yeah. Oh, so yes. So hard not to. I especially when you're writing like high fantasy or anything and you're like, nobody knows what's going on. Let me give them all the information.
Exactly. Yes. I just want people to know and appreciate how much I love my own world, you know? Even though they're just sitting there like, I don't care.
Yeah. Please love them as much as I love them.
Exactly. Okay, do you ever find that you rewrite like certain areas of your like whips constantly?
Yeah, there will be like 1 or 2 scenes where I'm like,
or like a specific, I guess what I mean is like a specific like area or a specific like topic. Like I can never get the conclusion right. So I am always rewriting that.
Endings are hard for me because like one of the things that I've seen a lot is they're like, well, the way to write a good ending is to know where you want to end when you start. And I'm like, I don't know where this train's going.
Exactly. I wrote, okay, so for this project, I have an idea of where I want it to end.
Mm-hmm.
And so this morning I wrote where I want it to end, but now I'm like, I've kind of lost interest because I've already planned out the entire story in my head. I'm like, well, if they're ending here, I know them, I can appreciate their love interest. It's like it's going to be this high fantasy, like there's going to be lots of drama. Everything's going to be so much. It's going to be so great. And then it ends up here, so I'm done. Yay.
Done.
Yeah.
Don't need it anymore. Yeah. I find I personally, that's something that I've heard a lot of is anytime like I'm a discovery writer or a pantser, some people call them pantsers. I feel like I'm more of like a plantser nowadays because I've just like forced myself to plan. But I've heard from a lot of other discovery writers that they're like, yeah, if I outline the book, the magic's gone. I know how it ends. And like a lot of plotters are like, what do you mean? Do you not usually know how it ends?
Yeah.
Oh. Welcome to being a pantser. I hate knowing the end, but still plan. I feel like
okay. Yeah, continue.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. We're like on the same wavelength today. Okay, so I still plan. Like I try and plan, but like I plan halfway through my novel.
Mm-hmm.
So everything I write before then, I have to basically like go back and rewrite. Like that's where my main editing comes in because it doesn't match the end, which is written when I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I don't like write out of order, because to me, a lot of my things that like I'll just be like, oh my gosh, what if this happens? Oh my gosh, what if this happens? Like if I come up with two like that's usually I'll write the bare bones of like what needs to happen, and then I'll fill in. I'll be like, include exposition about this, and I don't know how I'm gonna include exposition on that. I have no idea how that's gonna be included. But when I get there, I'll have figured it out. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I know that tree that I kept mentioning, and I didn't know why I was mentioning it. And you know what? I'm gonna make the tree a symbol for his, longing for his mother. Like that, the tree, that's what the tree stands for now.
Yeah.
Like something like that, where it's just like that I just kept mentioning the tree and I didn't know why I was mentioning the tree. And you know what? I'm going to use that tree. That tree is now this.
Exactly. It's great. It's great. Yeah. Or like when you decide that you're bored with a character, so you just randomly kill them off, and it's like, now you have to lead it up. You have to make them likable so that when you kill them off, it means something.
See, I have the absolute opposite. I have only ever killed off one person that I didn't mean to kill off from the start. In fact, this is something that I've never seen anybody talk about, so I don't know if I'm like alone in this. I don't know if I'm like a weirdo. But if I have a character die, that character was dead before they were a character. Like, I'll be like, what if you had a death like that? Like maybe I'll have like a character. I'll be like, what if they had a brother who died? And then I'll make the brother. Or like, I'll be like, what if you had a death scene where somebody was like leaping out of a window and then they fell onto this? And like, I'll have like the idea of a death. And I'd be like, ooh, maybe I could add it to this story. Ooh, I'll have to come up with a character for this story now, for this death. Like, I don't kill off characters very often. So when I do, it's like that was planned from the start. That was planned before they existed. Ariel M says, I'm somewhere in the middle. I have definitely been more of a planner this year. I dove deep into an outline and wrote out detailed character backgrounds this year. Yeah, I definitely planned way more than I usually plan, because I was like, murder mystery plot, need to have a lot of like clues and red herrings and things. I'm like, I don't think I can just willy-nilly this one.
Okay, see, character outlines are so helpful because I recently came across, I think it was one of those many tip videos across the internet, the big void of space. And they suggested, because I make my own outline. Like, I know that everyone has templates that you can get. Like, there's Nano workbooks, there are like how to write novel books. I just collect little tidbits everywhere, and I just make my own outline. And one of these tip videos said, write down what your character, like something that your character says very often. And I felt that on a personal connection, because I went through all of like 2 or 3 years of schooling saying the word interesting or for the record. Like it was my catchphrase. And so I'm like, I love that. So that's what I've added into my character outlines, and I find it so helpful because I don't know, it's like a piece of me in
like
my own
for example, story. Mine is the thing about, so I'll be like, the thing about this is, or the thing about that is, and for some reason I just always like, I'll be like, well, the thing about that is, and I have no idea why I say it, and I didn't realize I said it until recently. But
what would be really cool? If you filled out your own character outline, like about like yourself.
It's like when you make like a version of yourself on The Sims, and they're like always like a little bit better. They're like a little bit more attractive and a little bit more athletic. You're like, this is what I want to be. It's like how much of an interesting, how nice are they? And I'm like, I'm super nice. How like funny are they? I'm super funny.
Welcome to nice classes.
Can I max out 10 on all of these? And they're like, no, that's not humanly possible. And it's like, but I want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, now, it's like, look at your life. Are you actually? I'm like, no.
I love, my go-to when it comes to like writing characters is I always write characters worse. Like I write really bad characters, and then there's a lot of character development so that they turn out better. I don't know. It's easier for me that way. Yeah.
I have a hard time. I usually I'll create these like paragons, and then I have to be like, all right, listen, no, we can't allow this. And like in my head, before I start writing, it's always like, and then this person who's like really sweet and really nice, and I'm like, no, and I like come back down there and be like, nope, give them flaws, give them real flaws. I actually found this one piece of advice that really helped me create flaws for my characters, and that was that a flaw is just a how did they word it? A flaw is just a good idea in a wrong situation or something. So it's basically like, if you have a character that's really determined, maybe that means that they're also really stubborn. Or if you have a character that always sees the best in people, maybe they're like, oh my gosh, I'm totally gonna fall for every single person who's like, so you don't make them really shrewd and being like, hey, I think you're lying to me, because they're just like, I just see like the best in everybody, and they just like they're the person that keeps going back to like their ex, or like the person that keeps like falling for the trap. The person, so it's like
So do you ever write a character that you think is really annoying, but then you go back and you reread and you realize that they're not as annoying as you originally thought?
I always worry that all of my characters are annoying. I'm always like, oh no, are they too stupid? Are they not stupid enough? Are they too
I think like I was just reading, because before I started what I was writing now, I read a little bit of what I had been reading before, and I thought my character was so annoying, but then you read back and it's like, no, it's okay. They're just kind of annoying, but like you want that, because you can't always have everyone so nice 10%, or not 10%, 100%.
10% of the time, I'm annoying. Ooh, my nano
last. Sorry.
Well, you're fine. We're two in sync.
Yeah. I had a loose outline and spent thousands of words going down bunny trails, and I never got to my conclusion. My word count is sitting at, oh wow, that is so many words. 133,000 plus.
And it continues. I continued a previous whip, and it just kept going and going and going. Oh man, I've definitely had works like that. Some of my personal projects that are like not really ones that are going to be published. Where you're just like, yeah, this is gonna be like a hot like 200,000 or 20,000 words. This will be fine. This will be 20,000 words, and then you're like, wow, like 2 years later with like this big, you're like, how did this happen?
No, I think honestly, I find that once I get going in a story, I am so comfortable in the middle that I'm unless I'm done with the middle, like, which I'm almost never at, I just don't want to get to the conclusion. Just give me more of this world.
I have a really bad habit of, when I do plot, all of my ideas have to come like after the 75% mark. I'll be like, ooh, this is a cool reveal. We'll have that after the 75% mark. Ooh, this is a really cool like tribulation that they'll have to do after the 75%. So then like my middle just keeps growing and growing, because I don't want to write the big reveal or the big thing, because for some reason I like living in this like little world that I've created where like none of the mysteries have been solved and everybody's secrets are still in it, and I'm just like, I don't ever want to leave this place. It's very comfortable and everybody's full of drama.
Oh my gosh, if you had have you ever read Sarah J. Maas's series?
No, I've heard that there's some people that are like, I love Sarah J. Maas, she's the best writer ever, and I've heard some people that are like, I hate Sarah J. Maas, she's the worst writer ever, and like I feel like there's very few people that are like, that's good.
Okay, so the first series that she wrote, which was Throne of Glass, not Game of Thrones, but Throne of Glass, it was okay. I reread that series, the first book in that series, I reread 3 times before going on to my second book in the series, and I still haven't finished it because it's so long that it's like one of those books that you really like, but at the same time you don't want to keep on reading because you have a lot of stuff to do in life, so you have to put down, and then you just never go back. But the worlds that she creates, sometimes I just want to just stay in them, like
just stay there.
Like in her other series, which is called A Court of Thorn and Roses. I love that world, and she recently published a new book from a secondary character's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a whole other like love story just set in the same universe.
Yeah.
And I really want to read it for the universe, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but it's an extra. I love the main characters. I just want more of the main characters. Just give me the same story, just again.
Yeah.
Again and again.
Yeah. Oh, I've definitely read books like that where you're just like, can we just have more wacky hijinks from these guys, please?
Exactly. Okay, so it's 8:40. We finish at 9. Shall we
Yeah.
do a cool down sprint?
Yeah, just maybe just like the last 20 minutes, we'll just kind of gently sprint, or do you want to do
Or
like
we could do like 15.
15? Yeah, sure.
That way we can like say, okay.
Oh yeah,
cool,
like actually be like, hello everybody, goodbye.
Yes.
Alrighty.
And I don't know if you saw, but I put up the banner and then I accidentally clicked something or other, and then this example banner came on.
Yeah, I saw the example banner. Can we do one more 15-minute sprint? Yep, that's what we're doing right now.
Sweet.
All right.
Timer. Okay, let's do 15 minutes.
15 minutes on the dot.
Sweet, let's go. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Here we are.
That was our last sprint.
What did everybody get? Got 201.
Nice. I got
So close.
250.
So close to exactly being 200.
I hate when like you're one off.
Yeah, you're like, I get it. This is gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
Oh. But
How much?
yeah.
How many words have you written then for the day?
All day today has been 2,366.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I haven't hit my 5,000 goal for the day, because basically I have it where it's like really heavy in the front going down here, but then it's like heavier on the weekends too.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Arrow got 422. You're a Speedy
Oh my
Gonzalez over there.
gosh.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Wow. Yeah. And then I'm sitting over here with 200. Oh, well. No. It's everyone's writes at their own pace. Yeah. I can't say that I've met my goal for today, but I wasn't really writing that much as I should have been. So,
No, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, starting out just being like, what am I gonna write? It's like already
exactly.
yeah. I feel like most people, that's like the point of Preptober is most people being like, oh, I need a month to gather enough stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and then everyone else who's a planster just sitting, chilling. Hey,
Yeah.
how you doing? So, yeah. Anyways, it was nice sprinting. I suppose, should we be closing off then because it is 2 minutes to 9?
Yeah, this was really fun. Thank you all for showing up.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting me to this.
Yeah, so it was lots of fun. Apart from the technical difficulties that we had. But hey, at least now I know that StreamYard has colors. Or at least I knew that before I started this stream, but I didn't know where.
Yep.
Aw, thank you, Ariel.
Wise words.
Yes. And so Kristen Acres, you can find her on Instagram at Kristen Acres. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And her YouTube channel.
Everything I have is just first name, last name.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't know how to make a description box on this video, but if I can after, I will add you to the description so you can check her out there.
Cool.
And I am at Charlie Write With Me on Instagram, and I'm Charlotte Creates here on YouTube, but I guess you kind of already knew that since I'm hosting this stream. But yeah, it was so much fun. Thank you for sticking with us for the full 3 hours, and enjoy your night.
And good luck. Good luck with your NaNoWriMo projects.
Yes.